Hello there, this is RomWills coming back at you with yet another office smartphone video. Or is that smartphone office video? I don't know. I don't know. Whatever it's going to be. Anyway, many men are non-select. Many men are non-select because of a lack of social skills. Social skills. You know, it's interesting, like, you get so many guys out here. Well, before I get there, you're probably saying, well, how come he isn't doing a car video? I got a life outside of doing this. I got stuff I got to do today. But anyway, there's so many guys who think all they need to get a woman is to look good. Well, we look good or something. Or how much money they got or status. And indeed, even they will even say that's really your personality. I know these dudes ain't even talking to women. These dudes ain't even talking to women. Shoot, because look, I've been doing this a long time. Been doing this relationship thing since the 90s. The 1990s. And it's easy to see what the guys who are getting women are doing and what the guys who aren't getting women doing. And the major thing is social skills. The major thing. And now it's not absolute because this is an art, not a science. And there might be a very few non-select guys who got some serious social skills. But when I say very few, very rare. The overwhelming majority of non-select guys, the overwhelming majority of men who have trouble getting a woman, they just lack social skills. If you talk to them, they got very few friends. They don't know how to talk to people. Because if you look at players now, right? They usually have great social skills. Most players, even the quiet ones, even more introverted, they usually can talk with people. In fact, that's the thing that separates them. Like players are cool dudes. Like you can just be cool with them. They the ones they can chat it up with anybody. If like a lot of guys will say, yeah, you need that mouthpiece. I don't really argue with them. I just say, yeah, that's part of it. But you really gotta have something. You really gotta have social skills to connect with the women. Because yeah, you can look good to a woman, but many women will say as soon as if you can't talk to him or something, he's like he looked good, he was fine until he opened his mouth. And even with money and status, let's talk about that for a second, right? How do you have status but you can't have a conversation with somebody? Or how's she supposed to know you got money? What you doing, walking around with your money in your hands? Only people that's going to pay attention to you then are some stick-up kids. And I've actually seen that happen with a relative get robbed because he was counting his money publicly and they followed him home one day. But that's not going to get a woman. That's not going to impress a woman. And even then, if you're talking about money and stuff, only woman that's going to impress is a woman trying to divest you of your money. An acculturated prostitute. Oh, and real quick, just before, because whenever I talk about this, I'm noticing at least the pictures of some women talking the word broke. Honey, I tell you what, any women who might think that, or like I mean, or anybody promoting that, in the description box is where I'm living now. I'll show when I show my house right before I moved into it to show you where I'm living. You don't move into some place like that and you're broke. All right? So, because I need to address that. Because, and one of the reasons I'm addressing it is you got to have social skills no matter what. No matter how much money you have, no matter how good you look, you still got to talk to the ladies. And what I see with so many men who are having trouble, they can't talk with them. They can't have a conversation. They don't even have good male friends. And trust me. I've been doing this a while. There's guys out here that don't even be watching any of these videos and stuff, be encountering them and they having trouble. And it always comes down to that communication thing, that social thing. Because one thing that's very important for women is that connection. Yeah, you might have money, but how's she supposed to know you don't talk with her? And even with status or something, that's rare for most men to have anyway. And yeah, you could look good, but look, there's plenty of nice guys who look good. I talked about that several times. They are handsome. And like I always say, like I said in this very video, a woman will see a guy and he's handsome, but then he opens his mouth, he can't talk or anything. The woman don't want to deal with him. Because even, I'm going to tell you what, even if a man is normally introverted, introversion doesn't mean shy. Introversion just means you ain't going out your way. But an introverted person, a truly introverted person, can still have a conversation if they have to. And those social skills got to be developed. That's why I say the most basic game I give is saying hi to 3 women a day. And not for sex either, but just to build that muscle, just to build that social muscle. Because after you talk to them for a while, after you say hi, then when you run into women that you actually want to get with, you can have that conversation with them. That's very important. Very, very important. Very important. Because that's the thing I've seen. Because even when I talk about body game, I've seen some dudes who are muscular or whatever, they would have trouble. I've seen some. I've seen dudes who had money, dudes who had height. I can think of one person I know now. He's a good guy, but shoot, that dude's tall, but he don't be saying anything. And I've actually told him, I said, man, you gotta talk to him a bit. Those social skills are powerful. And see, here's the beauty of social skills. You don't have to read about it. You practice it every day. If when you go in the neighborhood, just saying a simple hi or something goes a long way. When you on a job, just saying hi and stuff. Now, you don't have to be what this young lady called a chatty boobalatti trying to talk everybody's head off. But just having those skills. And you practice it every day. When you in a grocery store, you just say, hey, have a nice day to the checkout clerk. Sometimes I'll get in a checkout line and just be like, hey, you have a good day and everything. That's how you have to be. Practice. But see, when I see a lot of these guys, they non-select, they don't have those social skills. If you put them in a situation where they with a woman, they don't know what to say. They don't know what to talk about. In fact, I had one dude, he's looking for a magic word or something. I was like, dude, just talk to him. Shoot, I'm going to tell you how deep it is. You can even get a woman want to shoot. She ready to jump your bones right down the spot just on the communication. Communication mean a lot to women. Communication mean a lot. And I'm not joking when I say, when I've been out here. I'm out here in the world. And when I see guys who are having trouble with women, that's the one common denominator. That's something I can see. Because I can't, as a man, I can't judge how they look. You know, I can talk about like their trap or their, if they muscular or something, I can see that. But even then, different women like different things. And then when you start looking at that was the thing. I look at the players, like a player. One thing I know about players, they can chat it up with everybody. The overwhelming majority of them can chat it up with everybody. They cool peoples. They are cool peoples. And if you understand what peoples mean, that's a black thing. Anyway, they cool peoples. You can talk with them. You can have that conversation with them and everything. So they good to go. They good to go. Because if they can chat it up with you or chat it up with the fellas, they can chat it up with a woman. And usually, I'm going to tell you something else with a lot of players. They can chat out with a woman. They ain't even trying to get with it. See, that's something else, too. They can have a regular conversation with the woman and then walk away. Be like, hey, you have a nice day. But it's the social skills. That's all it is. And like I said, it's something you can practice. Because some guys, when I've said this before, they say, oh, well, what book you can read? You don't even have to read a book. Practice, practice, practice. It's easy. You can do that while you listening to this video and you just see a woman, you just say hi or something. And look, here's the beauty of that too. Every woman ain't gonna say hi back. One of the things you learn with that is how to deal with rejection. I remember I was in the gym a couple weeks ago, saw this young lady said hi. She just kind of gave me a look like, I was like, okay, whatever. I see her a few more times. I don't be saying anything. Now she be looking at me like, damn, he ain't gonna say nothing. I was like, well, shit. I'm looking at her like, you ain't say shit to me. And that's the key to understand it, though, because you gotta practice. You gotta practice. You could talk. One thing, even before I had body game, I said one thing I could do. I could chat up any woman. I could chat up any woman. Now, did I get with every woman? Hell no. But I don't need to. But then when I ran into somebody I wanted to get with, I could talk to her. That's the key. That is the key. That's something that you want to do. That's something that you want to learn. You want to get with. You want to develop it. Now, if you got some serious psychological issues, maybe talking or something, well, I don't know what to do about that. That might be beyond me. But you can have that conversation. You can have that conversation. Something that you have to practice. You have to practice. If you non-select, usually that's the case. Usually. Like I said, there's some exceptions, of course. There's some non-select men. They can chat it up with everybody. But then that person might need to work on their bait. Because you can have the bait. Well, shoot, you can even have that money and all that stuff. How a woman going to know that? Think about it. Or how she going to know what you about? You got to be able to have that conversation. And you know what? Part of conversation, too, part of social skills is knowing what to say to somebody, when to say it. Part of social skills is also reading body language. Looking at somebody knowing they don't want to hear what you got to say. They ain't smiling or something. A lot of guys, they be going on some dates thinking they all that and not picking up that the date ain't even paying attention to them. That's part of it too. That's part of the communication too. But it's practiced. That's all. That's all you can do is practice. Ain't no book, ain't no trick, ain't no magic words. Practice, practice, practice. Because that's a big thing I found between the guys who are players getting women like crazy and then the guys who ain't. There's so many guys out here. It's not even just with women. You got a lot of guys out here talking about they don't have friends. They don't be hanging out. Well, how they going to get a woman? You got to talk no matter what. You got to have those social skills. You got to practice that. You know? I was thinking about my youngest son. That was the simplest game I gave him. And that dude chat up anybody. If I say hi to somebody, he's saying hi too. He's doing his thing too. Anyway, y'all. Develop those social skills. Really work on that. That's the important thing. Practice. Start with the 3, saying hi. And I'm just saying just 3. At least three, not just 3, at least 3. But then as you practice it, as you build it, and then as you build your conversation up, then when you run into some woman that you actually want to be with, you got something to talk about. You know? And then hold up. This is halfway another video, but I'll throw it out now. I'm in a flow now. Get a life. Have something to talk about. Seriously. Don't just be that type who's just going to go to work if you even have a job, come home and chill and be by yourself. Go out and do stuff. I know some guys now having trouble. I was like, well, dude, do you go outside? That's why I even say go outside. Go outside, do something. You know, go walk around. Go to the bookstore. Go bowling. I know this older guy who had been a player until, well, his wife wasn't playing that, but I see with his wife. But that dude, he said, I never forget what he said. He said someplace like a yoga studio is like a target-rich environment. Nothing but women there. He said the guy don't even have to say much. He can just go there. After a while, the women gonna be coming to him. But even then, the guy still got to have some social skills. So, and if you, like I said, if you had the best thing, I'm going to reiterate is if you're trying to develop them, all it is practice, practice, practice. It's no special webinar or seminar or books or anything. You have to go there. You have to go there. Just a simple hi. Just start with that. And if a woman don't say it, think about it. Okay, she didn't say hi back. Did it kill you? You still breathing? That's where you learn rejection. It's like, oh, okay, she ain't saying anything. Okay. Keep going. You still alive. You learn a lot. It's practice, practice, practice. You know, coming up, the players would just say, just talk. They say, talk to the woman. Talk, talk, talk. All right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. I don't know if I do a car video today or tomorrow. I'll just say this. March and now April has been interesting, throwing me off my schedule in many ways, but it is what it is. So anyway, I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.